Hey guys, welcome back for another mental habits video. This is where I take excerpts from my best-selling book, The Mental Game of Electronic Music Production. So today we're going to get into reaching your potential, all right? So what I like to do is start off these videos just with a quick review. I like to read the reviews that are on Amazon. So if you are leaving a review, I might actually read yours in one of the next videos. So this one comes from Matt, and Matt says, whether you are a beginner or at an advanced stage of your music journey, this book is simply a must-own. What is covered thoroughly in this book is how to approach the difficulties that a music producer can face, and it goes into depths as to how you can change the way of thinking to overcome these obstacles, whether it be feeling uninspired, getting distracted with life, and or running into creative roadblocks when working with a DAW. This book even goes as far as teaching you about how the brain works and how to properly prepare yourself to be creative before you start a music project or even your music journey altogether, which is what makes it a must-own for those that are just starting their music project and are in the beginning stages of learning electronic music production. And as far as experienced users, this book is definitely a great refresher tool to go back to and reread. It is written in such a way that it's easy for anyone to grasp, and many of the lessons you'll learn can apply to other creative endeavors as well, even though it is mainly music production focused. I love that there are actual production guide points in the back of the book for quick reference tips on EQing, compression, mixing, etc. I highly recommend this book to add to your arsenal of music production related stuff. Thanks a lot, Matt. Really appreciate it. Glad you liked the book. I see you left a picture there of the physical copy that you just picked up. So fantastic there. So back to how to reach your potential. All right. So my belief is pretty much no one's excluded from the ability to create, all right? We all have the same potential to create amazing things. In this case, we're talking about music. The problem is that potential is often wasted because it's not put into practice. It's not put into use. So all this potential that you have of wanting to do something but not doing it is killing that potential, obviously. So a lot of times what you'll do to, kind of make yourself feel smarter, make yourself feel like you're more mentally prepared, is you'll buy books, you'll buy magazines, you'll get tutorials and dive into training and all that stuff. And all of that is really good stuff. But the problem is that most of the time it's the acquiring of the information that makes you feel better. So it doesn't leave you with the motivation to actually put it into use. And by not putting it into use, you are just kind of wasting your time and your potential. It's kind of like, for example, we've all kind of walked by a homeless person thinking about giving them money. And as we keep walking, we feel good about ourselves and how compassionate we are because we thought about that. Fact of the matter is we didn't do anything. We kept on walking. So are we really that compassionate, or did we just do something mentally to make ourselves feel better? That's often what we do by buying new gear and buying magazines and diving into tutorials and YouTube videos and all that sort of stuff. So that can actually kill your motivation and kill your potential. So what you need to do is be able to conserve energy, okay, for actually doing a process. So there's a couple things that I recommend to you is, one, you need to learn how to stay in your own lane. In other words, when you're moving in a direction, stay in that direction and see it through. Because what most people will do is they'll look behind their shoulders at what everyone else is doing, and then they will kind of drop the ball on their own momentum, and they'll pick up another one. I mean, it's like a dog who's got, a yellow ball in his mouth and sees a red ball and drops the yellow ball and salivates over the red ball. You could keep doing this all day long with your music making and with your process. And what's going to happen is you're always going to be starting back from zero again because you just are not allowing yourself to stay in your own path and have your own confidence with your own belief systems about how to approach making music. All right. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't learn approaches from people and how to do it, but if you're not implementing it right away, you're going to get yourself in trouble. So what I recommend is stay in your lane until you get stuck. When you get stuck, set a timer for 15 minutes, and then that 15 minutes is what you're giving yourself to find a solution. So when that timer goes off, you better have found a solution because you're getting back into your DAW, you're getting back into your song, and you're going to move your song forward, right? So that keeps you from getting overly distracted. It just means that you're looking outside yourself only to push yourself that next step, and then you're going to take that next step as far as you can go on your own. That's what I mean by staying in your lane, okay? So a lot of people ask, well, where do I start with this? And instead of really asking, where do you start? You should be asking yourself, when do you start? And that time should be as close to now as absolutely possible. What you need to do is take all these scattered ideas you have and pick one. Even if it's the wrong one, it's better to pick one and get experience from seeing that through. Okay, so pick one and carry it through to the end. Don't drop the ball and pick up another song because this song gets hard or this groove all of a sudden doesn't sound as interesting to you as it did in the beginning. That is what the brain is going to do to you over and over and over. That becomes a practice, and you're practicing, not finishing songs. All right, so you need to see even the songs that you don't like as much. You need to see those through to the end, because what will happen is the more you see a song through the end, the better you'll get at finishing songs, and the more you'll like what you finish. Okay, I mean, here's the thing: it's like, you don't want a moving target when you're trying to get your aim in gear, right? You should be aiming for one focus, finish this one idea. If you keep changing the target that you're going for and only taking one shot at each target, what are the chances that you're going to hit a bullseye? Not very likely, right? Another concept that you really need to understand too is it is difficult to get an idea off the ground, all right? It takes a lot of energy. It's like an airplane, right? Most of the energy that the airplane needs is to get itself off the ground. Once it's off the ground, it takes a lot less energy to stay steady, but most people don't give enough energy in the beginning to get something off the ground. They just drop the ball and quit before they're off the ground, right when it was about to get easier, all right? So I want to help you avoid doing that. The next thing is, don't get overwhelmed with the whole musical mountain that you need to climb, all right? What you need to do is break things down to kind of a step-by-step sort of guide for yourself. So that way, as you break down the steps, you don't have to worry about what comes next. Just you're in the now moment of what you're doing right now, and that's all you have to do. And that takes a lot of stress out of where the song's going, what you're doing, and gets you focused on just tackle this. And then after that, tackle that. And what I recommend you do is write down a sequence of events that you're taking. Try to write down what you think you need to do in order. And as you continue to work on music, that order is going to change. You're going to find that some things need to be before other things, right? So what you're doing is you're setting up your process. So that way, as you get better and better, that process gets better and better, and your focus gets better for just doing that one piece of the process at a time. This is how you climb a mountain. This is how you get big goals accomplished. It's not by thinking all the way to how you're going to get everything done right now. What you want to focus on is what you're doing right now, that step that you're taking right now, and not worry about the next. Just know that the next step will unravel as you move forward. That's the way you should look at your music. Otherwise, it's often going to stress you out. Okay, so that is my recommendation to you to help you reach your potential. I hope that this helps you in some way to stop distracting yourself with all the outside forces and start really learning to trust your inner guidance and even trust the mistakes that you make, because when you make a mistake, then you learn something and you can maneuver. You just want to make sure to take note of those mistakes so you can avoid it next time. And that's why you would build this kind of list of your processes of making songs, and you'll get better and better and better. So with that, I hope you're able to take this video. Once again, you're watching this video. This video might make you feel a little bit smarter, but if you don't do anything with it, you're not going to get anywhere. So I really hope that you take these ideas and put them into action. All right. If you like this information, feel free to pick up the book on Amazon. And with that, I conclude the video. I hope you enjoyed this. Take care.